Morning. Morning. I've already used that color. This one's a bit bright. I might use one that's in my little stash. Maybe I'll just leave it. We'll see. All right, so today we're gonna do these 3 leaves here. 1, 2, 3. And very originally, we're going to do a stitch called the leaf stitch. And I'm not sure if this is one of those that someone's like made up, or if it's like a genuine, this is the leaf stitch type situation. But it's basically just a satin stitch that stops in the middle. Easy peasy, right? So what we're gonna do is, instead of having the line all the way down like this, we're gonna do it about to there, okay? And the first couple will go to the same point, and then all of them after will just be one side. And if you need to draw the lines for satin stitch, by all means do. That's totally fine. I'm going to use all 6 strands, but you can use less, of course. If you use less, then you will need to use more stitches. So don't get discouraged if, like, I do 10 and you do 10 and you're like, mine doesn't fill up the same space. Okay, and I'm just gonna do a knot at the end. And have a drink, and then we'll get going. All right, are we ready? Okay. So I'll start at the tip like this, straight down. You can go longer as well if you want, if you don't want to have such a long separation in the middle, because we're doing satin stitch on one side and satin stitch on the other side. So with this, you could do one side and then the other, or you can do them both at the same time and work down at the same rate. And I think I might work down at the same time on each side. So every time we go up on the outside and we go down on the middle line. Almost like just below where we've just done. Yeah? And this is different from the fishbone, because for this one, we're not crossing or anything. We're literally just going straight down. So, for example, you could do it just one side at a time like this, and you're just gonna make it go parallel and straight down. So we're just filling her in. And I know that the lines help a lot of people, because for some reason with satin stitch, it's really easy to make them not parallel, and then they get a little bit wonky as they go down. That's totally fine if you find yourself doing that and you think, oh shit, I've done it wrong. Don't worry, it's okay. Because these are all leaves in nature. They all don't have to be the same. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be symmetrical. They don't have to look like mine. So you can even tell that mine have gotten off a little bit. I'm just gonna go back and stick one more stitch in here because you can see there's a space. So this is a great stitch if you just need to fill a leaf in, if you just need to fill something in, and you don't really care about like making a pretty pattern in the middle, or maybe you want to outline it later. Maybe it's a really big fat leaf. So you don't want to do the whole leaf in one long stitch. You can do half and half. I know oftentimes I'll use this stitch and then go back and outline it with a contrasting color. So you can use even a darker color or a lighter color even. And then go back and outline it, and then you can do a little line down the middle. And all your stitches will lay nice and neat. Hi again, Kim. Hey, hey. It's snowing there again? Oh my God. It's not snowing here. It's like nice blue sky. Okay, so obviously I'm getting to the end. So I'm going to come right back up to the top and then fill in the other side. And I've said it before, but I don't like working from the bottom to the top when you have angles like this, because it's really, really easy to get these angles wrong. And then you end up with a really, really wonky looking leaf at the bottom, which, I mean, like I said before, is fine, but it's just more comfortable for me to work like top to bottom like this on these kinds of leaves. Kim says it's because she's going to London at the weekend. Well, at least you didn't have Storm Kiara, whatever the hell her name is, on Sunday. I genuinely thought that I was going to have to cancel the Stitchalong on Sunday night and be like, I'll be back tomorrow because we are stuck in England, or in London. Obviously, I'm not stuck in England. I live in England. Yeah, this is one of those stitches that it does look really, really nice when it's finished. But like with the fishbone stitch, I wouldn't ever add like a line down the middle, or I would do an outline, but not a line down the middle, because the whole point of the fishbone stitch is to get that nice braiding kind of effect. Whereas this one, you just have a line. It's not like anything, you know? If you wanted to add some more details to it, then you absolutely could. This is also like a super forgiving stitch. So like earlier when I made too much space between my two stitches, it's really easy to just go back and put another stitch in. So don't worry if you're like, oh crap, I messed this up. Just go back, or you can stitch over it. I need to get a window cleaner to come and clean the outside of my windows. Just random thoughts you have whilst you're stitching in it. Okay, and I'm just gonna do one more on each side because it looks like they don't touch the middle. There's a little bit of space there. So just keep it going. So there we have it. One leaf finished. And the other one, exactly the same. Well, there's two more, obviously. I'll probably do one more and then let you to finish the other one by yourself. And of course, if you feel like I've done one or I've seen you do one, I'm not feeling it, do a different stitch if you want to. You can do a fishbone stitch here. You do a full satin stitch the whole way straight down. You can do all kinds of stuff. So you don't necessarily have to do what I've done if you're not feeling it. If you're like, don't like the way that looks, then do something else. Again, the top ones, they all go through the same hole here. And then after these ones, they kind of go down along this line. And you can do one side only or them both at the same time. Obviously, I'm kind of preferring one side only at this moment. Where normally I would do them both at the same time and like kind of be done. But when you get into the hang of it, I think you'll know which one you prefer. So again, I'm using all 6 strands. If you've got a smaller hoop, if you've done a 7 or even a 6-inch hoop, then you might want to go a little bit smaller if you don't want them to be as full. Gonna have to get more thread to do the other side. Aren't I? So it's just these 3 leaves today. Leaf stitch, 3 leaves, 6 strands. Because I know a couple people I've just got on. Woo woo. Almost finished. She said, "What did I miss?" Kim, I got stuck on a call. Nothing. Just talking about stitching and how you can do it one side at a time or both sides at the same time. Everyone's will look different, etc., etc. Not a lot of chat today. Just me and you. That's all right. Okay. I gotta flip her over and do a knot because I've run out of thread. Yeah, Kim's just said, I love that there are loads of different ways of doing stitches. And like, we've obviously done 3 different kinds of leaves so far. And if you count the other stitch along as well, then 5. And then by the end of this, you'll have maybe 5 or 6 more different ways to do it. Lessons for Susie says, we're stitching furiously. No time to chat. Yeah, because sometimes I forget that, like, you guys have to type in your answers if when I ask a question, or your questions for me to answer. But I can just talk, so, like, it's way easier for me to just, like, blah, 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 than it is for you guys to, like, put everything down and type and type and type. Someone told me that if I could get verified on Instagram, which is, like, the biggest chance, like, there's no way. But you get 60 minutes on IGTV. Can you believe that? Whereas if you're not verified, you get 10 minutes. So I'm a bit like, ugh. Why you gotta make, like, a class system for everyone? Why you can't just give everybody 60 minutes? Kim says, so neat. This is very therapeutic. Thank you. Maybe I'll do, like, a little time lapse or something, and then you can see both of the stitches being filled in, like, super quick. Should have thought about that before I did this, though, because it'll be, like, my hand in the way for most of the time. You'll just see both my hands like this. Okay. Maybe I'll just do the last one, too. Because why not at this point, huh? Also, you can make these kind of at an angle like this, or you can just make them straight over if you want to do them straight over. So my last ones here are becoming more, like, straight. And that's all right, too. I'm not mad at it. I just obviously wasn't following along. Too busy talking. Oh, Kim, as when we were finished at Hampton Court Palace, we went into the gift shop and I got 2 books. Did I tell you about them? If so, just stop me. But I got the Kings and Queens of England book. So it's got every single king and queen of England from, like, the beginning of time, beginning of England's time, all the way until now. And then it tells, like, what, like, everything about them, like, if they had any, like, physical oddities, or, like, if, like, what they were famous for, and, like, what did they do, and, like, when did they rule, who their parents were, all this stuff. And then I got another book. They're meant to be children's books, I think. But I got another book that is all of the important dates of England, all the way from Stonehenge until now. So guess who's about to pass her test? It's me. I'd better after all that, huh? But yeah, we basically spent, like, the whole weekend while the boys were watching rugby, me and our friend Noelle, like, in the pub reading a Kings and Queens of History book and being like, oh my God, I can't believe that he did that. And oh my God, I can't believe she did that. Oh my God, that's crazy. So yeah. Kim says, yes, that will be great revision material. I'm still, like, getting them mixed up. So I think I'm going to have to make, like, a king tree. You know, like how you have, like, a family tree and it shows, like, all the people in your family, like, and where they came from, like your mom and dad, and then, like, you, and then, like, your kids, and, like, your kids' kids. I'm going to make, like, a king tree, and I'll be like, who came from where, and, like, write it all down. because I always remember things better, like if I write them down. Yes, she says I can never say this word. So sorry, Plantagenet, sorry. But she said those kings and queens are the most interesting and most awful. Yeah, and lots of persecution of Jews, even like back in like 12 something. Like, why everyone's got to hate on the Jews? Don't get it. Like, why? Doesn't really say why in the book, but it just like says that that's something that happened. So it was a bit like, Kim says, yes, for some reason that's always happened. I don't get it either. So yeah, like even like, I think it was like 1170 something. And then again in like 12 something, like a bunch of Jews were like massacred at a coronation. And then again, there was like a bunch of Jews massacred for something else. And I'm like, huh. Apparently Hitler wasn't that inventive. Just makes me feel like, why? Why you always gotta, what's the reason? I guess one of them was because of, they said that Jewish people were clipping coins, like the corners of coins. Back in 1270 something. But, again, don't know why. Kim says they were always massacring someone back then. I mean, I guess they had to pick on someone, right? So, like, it's kind of like if you're not like me, you can't be free type situation, you know? Where they always think that their religion is the best and their, you know, community upbringing, whatever that is, was the best. So then they just imprisoned everyone who wasn't like them and killed everyone who wasn't like them. Ridiculous. Kim says horrible times, like super horrible times. The whole time I was like, oh my God, and then they died. Oh my God, then they died again. Kim says we have the worst history. It always gets glossed over. Yeah, I wouldn't say America's history is so great either. Not gonna lie. She said that won't be on the test. No, it's more like just like the most important. So like I think I'm gonna go through like with a highlighter as well, and just be and like highlight some like the most important things, like when the Norman Conquest was and the Magna Carta signing and like all those like really important things. Right. I've just been chatting. So apologies. But I did them all. So the back this way, the back, so that's why, so Kim says, yeah, the key dates. And I think that's why I got the other book as well, because like the Kings and Queens book, it was just interesting and it was only £7. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a children's book. But the other one is like all of the key dates, like from Stonehenge, like all the way until now. So it doesn't say something every year. It just says something like the most important years and like what happens then. So I might be taking a highlighter to that one as well. And just write it down. Do my king tree and then write down the important dates and I'll be finished. All right. Make sure you update your progress. Tell me if this is one of your favorite stitches or not. And you have until 6 o'clock tonight to enter the giveaway to win a pattern of your choice from me for you and a friend. And you can pick 2 different patterns or the same pattern. It's up to you. So yeah, go and enter. Ooh, Kim says, I'll shoot over a good website to help with the king tree. They probably have it already made somewhere. Like, I'm sure if I just look on the internet, they'll have it like already like written down somewhere. But it might be kind of fun. I can hang it in my house somewhere, the king tree. I'm getting way too into this. All right, I'll leave you there for now. Tomorrow and kind of the rest of the week, we're going to do these 2 stitches, and they'll be, I'm just reading my Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah. So they'll be like a little bit more labor intensive, just so you know. So we'll do this one and that one. And then we have catch up day on Saturday. So yeah, enjoy your day, and I will talk with you tomorrow. Bye.